Destiny knows that he is visibly shaking. You can see it. Look at the chair. It shows vibrations. Look at his arms. This shows that beneath his rationalization, his subconscious knows that something is off. You can feel it in your words when you're not on firm footing.
1 million views. What is the YouTube algorithm cooking? Destiny knows he's visibly shaking. You can see it. Look at his head. It shows vibrations. Look at him jump. It shows the cuck energy he keeps bottled inside bursting out, just like the semen of his wife's boyfriend.
When I heard that there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, I was in the car with my mom, who is someone who deeply loathes Trump. I was able to hook up my phone and go to a YouTube live stream. We saw the visuals, and her response was deeply human. It was shock and sadness.
Why so dramatic and serious and yet hypnotic as well? Strikes a strange tone, this guy. He's got that Hypno JOI soundtrack in the background.
Do not come. Do not come.
I feel there's a genre of YouTubers who employ this very methodical, considered tone, and I feel this tricks some viewers into thinking the content of what's being said is way smarter than it actually is. That and British accents seem to do it.
Rule Big Chungus rules the waves.
Look, I'll get to the actual substance of what he's saying about Trump shooting and Destiny's response, because I think there is some interesting stuff there. I just want to say, I don't have anything against this guy, and apparently he and Destiny chatted later, and they were cordial, and he took something positive away from that.
This gives me hope. This is what we should be striving for.
This is truly remarkable, and so I just want to give you props for this. This is like a level of, and I mean this in a good way, like a level of like autistic detail that is in the best way.
Sure.
Like, it's truly remarkable.
And I know that as a commentary channel, we all do like some cringy psychoanalysis on other people and stuff. You kind of inherently place yourself on like this moral high horse, and it's a ridiculous position to be in. But man, there's like levels to this stuff. This is just so goofy. Like when you're jumping to, ooh, I can tell this guy's shaking, and his chakras are not aligned, and his inner self is fighting amongst itself. Like because he saw a slight vibration in the chair or something? I couldn't even see that, to be honest. But anyway, when you're doing this kind of thing, you gotta take a step back sometimes and just be like, what the hell am I doing? What am I even saying here? I'm sorry, but even his channel name, like Secret Scholar Society? The Art of Thinking Critically? Yeah, we saw that in action.
Destiny knows that he is visibly shaking.
I don't know, it gives me major Jaden Smith vibes, you know?
Dude, like, oh my God, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
Anyway, I guess this is a good time to talk about what is an appropriate response to someone you don't like getting shot at. Let's remove all the political considerations. It's just someone you hate, someone you think is bringing great harm into the world. How should you feel if they are assassinated? Personally, I start here. I would never wish something like that on anyone, not because I'm such a nice person, just because any kind of extrajudicial violence is no bueno. Because once you start accepting that as a good thing, you get into some dangerous territory. Like violence should not become a norm or just something we accept. But should you feel bad or worried or stunned into shock when someone you consider to be a horrible person has violence enacted on them? Like, does that say something positive about you? Does that make you a more humane person? Like this guy praised his mom for having that type of reaction? I don't really think so. Now, I'm going to say something maybe controversial, but I think actually deeply human and something most people should agree with. I don't feel much of anything for most people who are killed or murdered or whatever. You could tell me right now that some 10-year-old in Azerbaijan was just shot. I would feel nothing because that person is very detached from me. I don't know anything about them. I'm not confronted with any images. I cannot give much sympathy to it, or my entire day would be locked up feeling things for millions of people. Sympathy is a very important thing. It drives you to improve the world and the conditions of others. But when I am so physically detached from them, I can do nothing to change their outcomes. I just feel like we naturally don't give that much brain power to this stuff. It's different when I'm like told a very detailed story about them, or I know them in some capacity, or if I'm shown the video footage of their death maybe, or maybe of their loved ones, like their mother crying after the fact, then yeah, I'd probably start to feel something. I may say, oh, but you do know Trump and this was all recorded. Okay, if you want to know my honest reaction to the first time seeing that footage, I did not care. I did not care that he was shot at. I didn't feel any pangs of sympathy. I honestly just started laughing when he was looking for his shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Let me get my shoes. Okay.
I think the fact that it wasn't very violent, there wasn't no like big screams of pain or anything, contributes to that. But also, yeah, I think the fact that I really don't like the guy does play into me not caring. You know, if the exact same thing happened to Biden, I think I would care a little bit more. Not too much, it wouldn't like stall my day in any way, but just a little bit, because in a lot of moments he does seem like a pretty decent, good man. There were those leaked texts with his son where he just seemed like really supportive and good. There's that video of him comforting the family of some of the Parkland shooting victims.
I wanted to...
This is Chris's son.
I'm his son.
Well, how are you? Good. Thank you for hugging me. You okay?
You okay? You'll be okay. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. I promise. Okay, I promise.
This seems like a genuinely decent dude. And just overall, he has a more sympathetic story than the guy who was born rich and scams others. And yeah, maybe ideally that shouldn't play a part in how I feel, that I should afford the same sympathy to every single person, but it just doesn't. It doesn't work that way. And similarly, no, I didn't feel a single thing for the firefighter guy either. I know there's a story going around that he died trying to protect his family. I don't know if that's actually true. If it were, and there was like some evidence of it, then yeah, I feel like maybe 1% of something. Also, he's literally dead. I don't know if they deserve much sympathy more than the living. In fact, the main reason I didn't like Destiny's statements, outside of like strategic stuff, because I was basically thinking a family member of the dude who died might stumble upon it, right? And that would suck. Seeing someone you love getting absolutely crapped on by some e-celeb on Twitter, I don't think that's good. I think that would suck. I think dancing on someone's grave like that when he's just a random normie is in bad taste. And that's about as far as I'd go with all this. I think there are fair criticisms to make of Destiny, but come on, to suggest that the deeply human reaction, or in other words, the good reaction, the morally kind, the empathetic, is to be deeply shocked and worried and whatever, feel for Trump as a human being. Yeah, I just don't think that's true. And I think most people who say this stuff are basically doing it because they like Trump, the politician. They like him as a guy. They want to see him elected. I think that's just true in at least 99% of cases. And even a big chunk of that other 1% would be a lot more worried about, the consequences, the repercussions of him being hurt or killed on a broad, like, societal level. Like, oh man, this could mean civil war and unrest, rather than feeling, genuine human sympathy for Donald the person. Like, I really don't think most people care that much if they're on the other side to him, like politically, or they just don't like him. And while I like empathy and sympathy or whatever, I don't think that's a horrible thing. I think this is pretty natural, pretty understandable. There's only so many people, so many things, so many situations you can allocate those kinds of feelings for. Maybe that sounds messed up to say, but yeah, a lot of things will not meet that threshold. Hey, I didn't really care when Kobe Bryant died either.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me now for the first time.
Looking more at this Warren guy's channel, he seems a little bit like one of those, IDW skeptic, centrist / conservative type people. He reminds me a bit of Asmongold, actually, but less of an entertainer and more of an artist. Hey, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. I obviously disagree with him on stuff, but the main thing is some of this is just goofy, okay? Like, I just still can't believe someone unironically said these words.
Destiny knows that he is visibly shaking.
Frickin' Kylo Ren, what is he trying to say?
Keep driving, you black spear chucker piece of shit!
Alright, yeah, that's it. See ya.